Hi, this is Cindy Cochran. Welcome to the archives of the Cindy Cochran Show. Remember, I'm live Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 11, right here on irlonestar.com. You can be a part of the show by calling 936-647-3776. Also, please visit my Facebook page, The Cindy Cochran Show. And let me say a special thanks to our show sponsors, BK Meyer Photography. If you would like to be a sponsor of The Cindy Cochran Show, contact me at cindy@irlonestar.com. Enjoy! Good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday. We love Wednesdays because we're halfway there to the weekend, so it's exciting. You're listening to the Cindy Cochran Show. Of course, who else would talk like this, right? It's Cindy Cochran, yeah. And a lot of times, I've heard that people that are being asked to come on the show may call somebody that they know has been on the show and go like, so what should I expect? And hopefully the answer is always the unexpected, because you never know what Cindy's going to ask, because she kind of has a lot of squirrel moments in her head, like, whoa, wait a minute, I got something. And that's why Richard is here, because other than being the owner and, the guru of community radio, he's here to make sure I stay grounded, he told me. So if he says something that's mean, it's not mean. He loves me with all his heart. It's just that he's just trying to call me out and make sure that what I'm saying is right. And he does all the fact-checking, F-A-C-T, fact-checking for me if I say something.
You're going to do the fact-checking, too. Don't forget that. You're forgetting that motto.
Careful, you're starting to jump into politics with pork barrel spending.
Right. When I come in here and you have one of those instruments, those things that go like, come here, Cindy, we're going to do some fact checking. No, not that. So that's why I'm on radio. What do you think? Does this microphone make me look fat? No. It makes you sound fat, though. Have you ever tried to guess the weight of somebody that's talking, that if they sound, can you sound fat or can you sound skinny? So I want to know what it is. It's not a high-pitched voice that makes you skinny. So I got to figure that out. Anyway, but today we've got a real special guest. All my guests are special, of course. But you know what I love to talk about most. First, religion. And I don't mean religion like, the stuff's like, I'm not religious. But spiritual stuff, I love that, to talk about that. But the next thing is politics. The two things that your parents told you never to talk about in polite society. And I understand it. It's just if I can find a Democrat to talk to and figure it out. But when I have a very close friend, spiritually, but politically we're on the opposite ends of the beam, is Mark Hader, and he and I would sit here for almost over a year. We sat here and bantered back and forth and had guests on and all that, and just once in a while we would get into something that happened the day and politics were involved, and that'd get into a discussion, and he gets so red in the face and he would get so upset with me, and I didn't want him upset with me. So I understand that it's better sometimes, because people feel like you're condemning their character because they are one way or the other.
Yeah, typical Republican folding when the pressure comes.
No. I would have stood with him. We'd been on this table, doing arm wrestling for who was right.
And that's why religion shouldn't be in politics, because you let the religion rule your final say.
Yeah,
See,
that was it. Shut. Okay, sometimes Richard says things that are just totally, I would never say this, so inane. But
we can come back to that.
Yeah, exactly. So I've got to say that, so when you hear this voice, this real radio voice coming through here, it's not Richard or myself. It is J. Mac Sanders is with me today, and because I love to talk about politics so much, and I've had so much fun having the candidates on, not politicians. But
once you're a candidate, you can call yourself a politician.
It's okay.
You have to.
Isn't that word out? Isn't that politically, like you wouldn't say politician to somebody because that brings up a certain image of someone?
At the end of the day, politicians is a word that's a pariah for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And for somebody that's running for office to not think that they're a politician, right, and to hide behind, well, I'm not really a politician. But wait a second, I'm on a ballot. I'm trying to campaign. I'm trying to tell you why I'm better than the other person.
Right.
And continue to vote for me.
Mm-hmm.
And to say you're not a politician,
Yeah.
That's not correct.
Well, that is a very good point. I think that I love your transparency. So that's
part of
good.
it.
But I was talking before Richard so rudely interrupted me about Mark Hader and I having the conversation, and we would always come back together centered on Christ. We were fine like that, but then we get off to talking about Obama or somebody. We would, it'd be the all gloves off. So, but I think that having had that exchange with him and all that, and I've asked other Democrats. I'm sure you have Democrat friends.
Sure,
right? Absolutely. So if anyone want to come on and talk to me and tell me where I'm wrong, and it's not even that. It's just I want to understand how they think the way they think, and I'll understand. I was brought up a Democrat, in my household. Anybody that's over 50 years old probably was brought up around in Texas, was brought up Democrat, and I'm over that and more. And so I think that it's very interesting. I'm curious. I want to know. I want to have that explained to me. So I'm not afraid of that. If anybody wants to come on, I want to make sure everybody has access to the show. So that would be fun for me. So if you know somebody, they go like, "Hey, you want to have a crazy conversation? Go on the Cindy Cochran Show and tell her why she shouldn't be a conservative Republican." That would just be great. But speaking of Mark Hader, I must say this before I forget it: is that today at 12 o'clock, Hanging with the Haters. He now is hanging with his wife doing a radio show, Kay Hader, and there's not as much arguments about religion, but he's found there's a bigger argument between husband and wife. You have to deal with that. So anyway, I don't know if he's picked the best of both worlds, but he is a spinoff of the Mark and Cindy Show. He is a spinoff with his wife, Kay Hader, and they're on at 12 o'clock today, just an hour. You can between 11 and 12 listen to some country music and Richard's voice.
Actually, District Dynamics is today.
After District Dynamics?
Yeah, with Willis ISD.
See, Willis ISD, I am from there, and so, there's nothing more dynamic than the district talk in Willis, right? Right, Richard?
Yeah.
It's amazing. I mean, so it's a lot of fun, and get your
I have this really handy sheet I send out to everybody, and it's like what's coming up on Lone Star, and they're going to have District Dynamics with Superintendent Tim Harkrider. He's going to talk to Craig Rex, who's the Willis High School DECA advisor. And so he does business classes for our high school students in the Willis area.
And if you're interested in maybe starting a program like that in your school, be sure and listen in, get your paper and pencil out. And Tim is a riot. I mean, he's a real riot. So you got to be sure and listen in for that. But and then right after that fun hour, then you've got Hanging with the Haters and the comedy that they are going to just exude. He's an amazing writer. He writes for the Conroe Courier. I don't know if you're familiar with Mark Hader, and he does it in the Trends every Sunday. So I have now fully given them as much promotion as I'm going to give them, and now the rest of the time
I'll make sure they give you promotion too.
Okay, will you? That would be sweet.
Your show is Monday through Friday, every day at 10 a.m. on Monday through Friday.
Every day. Some of these wimps do it one day a week or once a month or something like that. Every morning I'm here 10 to 11 serving the Montgomery County and the world, actually, because on the internet we can go everywhere. So all those people we're serving, giving them a taste of Texas and letting them know how our politics run here, and that everybody's so gentlemanly, and there's no fighting, and there's no mudslinging or anything like that. And speaking of mudslinging, if you think we have politics are bad in the States, imagine if you're a South Korean and you're going about your business, and North Korea they want to send a political message that their leader in South Korea is full of. And I'll tell you why how they made that statement. They send over balloons that are filled with toilet paper that has been wiped with someone who has just done number 2.
I feel like that people are just bored.
And so
that's something people are bored and want to mess with one another. It's like, hey, watch this. Let's see what they react to.
So the balloons go over to their area. They send the balloons over to South Korea. They pop. And they release all this used toilet paper. And I think you guys need more to do, number one. And then number 2, no pun intended, but number 2 is to do something like that. How crass of you to do that. Or maybe even more crass that I brought it up. But I just wanted you to know that our politics aren't as dirty as some other places. So I think we can get down on all that stuff. But I think you need to know it's worse other places. So Anyway, now that you have that knowledge and that thinking about that in your head while you're eating your breakfast, we will go on to bigger and better matters because we're going to be talking to J. Mac Sanders, and we're going to be talking about his running for County Commissioner Precinct 3. Did I get that right?
Yes, ma'am, you did.
All right. And he said, yes, ma'am. I love that. I love that. Respect your authority. I mean, your elders. Anyway, so we're going to
respect everybody.
Everybody. That's right. Respect matters.
Give respect.
We're going to be talking about, you'll see if you still say that at the end of the show. But we're going to be talking about what a commish does. So you guys stay with us. It's going to be a fun hour. We'll be right back.
The Cindy Cochran Show, the first daily talk show serving Montgomery County.
SPCA PetSnap of Montgomery County is a 501c3 all-volunteer-based rescue and adoption organization with a no-kill policy for healthy and adoptable animals. Our goals are fourfold: to rescue and rehabilitate homeless animals, to provide a safe haven for the animals until a suitable adoption or foster care home is found or until they are reunited with their owner, to educate the public about the great need to reduce pet population, which includes the importance of having their pets spayed and neutered, and to further the cause for humane and responsible pet ownership, and to provide a low-cost spay-neuter clinic for people who are unable to afford to spay or neuter their pets otherwise. SPCA PetSnap of Montgomery County encourages you to think adoption first. You can contact us at www.spcaofmc.com.
In a world where everyone with a smartphone is a photographer, unique images still stand out in local newspapers, magazines, and on the internet. Writer and photographer Brad Meyer has gained a reputation for innovation and quality, specializing in an editorial approach to portraits and event photography. For information, visit bkmeyer.com or call 281-221-4812.
Tune in to Chamber Chat with your host, Courtney Galley and Samantha Good, with the Conroe Lake Conroe Chamber of Commerce, every first Tuesday of the month at 11 a.m. I'm one of your hosts, Courtney Galley. Samantha and I will chat about the Conroe Chamber's upcoming events and programs for the month. Relax with a cup of joe or your favorite drink for Chamber Chat.
Are you interested in learning more about preparing quick, healthy, and safe meals for your family? Would you like to spend time with others learning tips and tricks, along with practicing and tasting nutritious food? If so, the On the Road to Healthy Living Mobile Cooking School is for you. Call Amy Ressler at Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service at 936-539-7825 to find a class near you or volunteer to host a class.
Conroe now has another first, The Cindy Cochran Show, mornings at 10 a.m. on irlonestar.com.
And we're back on the Cindy Cochran Show. It is Wednesday, and we have our special guest, J. Mac Sanders, with us. And I welcome you back. It's going to be fun, Jay. It's going to be so much fun. Now, do people call you J. Mac, or they call you Jay?
They do call me J. Mac.
I love that.
I introduce myself. Hello, my name is J. Mac Sanders. You can call me J. Mac.
No, if this doesn't work out for you, you need to get a guitar and a cowboy hat and be J. Mac.
This is true.
I love that.
There are many
name.
artists that have proven that you can absolutely not have a lot of talent and be successful.
With one name.
Absolutely, yes.
That's exactly right. Listen, I want to tell you, I was talking about the coin toss that happened in politics, which I thought was really interesting. That's how they decided, because the vote was so close with Hillary and Bernie Sanders. Mm-hmm. No relation, right?
Not that I'm aware of. No.
Okay. Is that there were 6 delegates up for grabs, and so they did a coin toss. I have never done that before. That's really interesting. Okay, squirrel. Anyway, so they flip the coin 6 times, and to see who got what, who got who. She won every delegate. Mm-hmm. Every time they tossed the coin, she won. Mm-hmm. Now, my guest yesterday said he just couldn't believe that. So what he did was, he had a lot of time. What he did was he tossed a coin 6 times, and he did that process 50 times to see if you can get that to, land on head for 6 times in a row. Mm-hmm. Didn't happen, but one time in the 50 times that he did it. So at the end of the show, we're going to go, nobody has any change in here. So we're going to have to go find somebody that has some coins, and we're going to, all of us do 6 times and see if we come up with the same one. Is that all right? Okay.
Sure.
Okay. All right, we'll do that. We'll go over to Conroe Coffee and borrow some change from them because we all just have debit cards here. Okay, so J. Mac Sanders running for Montgomery County Commissioner, Precinct 3. And now you're on, it's a group of you, right? How many commissioners are we have? 3 or 4?
There are 4 commissioners. Every county in the state of Texas has 4 commissioners.
Okay. When I was Googling this, they said you have to have at least 3 commissioners to make this happen. You can't have just 2, or so you have to have more than that. So I didn't know where we were. And being Texas, it should be more. Yes. Okay, 4 commissioners, and you guys all go out and state your case, why you should be the commissioner. How many times have you gone out and you go like, these people don't even know what a commissioner does? I got to start from scratch with these people.
I would probably say 90% of the time.
That's what
really.
That's what I thought. You're a commissioner, but nobody wants to say, well, exactly what does that mean? But I'll say it.
Sure. I like to explain to people a county commissioner and a county judge are the equivalent of being a mayor and a city council. So the city council are the commissioners. The mayor is the county judge.
Right.
And so we do the same exact services, but we do them for the county, not for cities.
Okay.
So if you're inside of a city limits, you have a mayor or a chairman of a board of directors or whatever it may be, and then you've got the city council and so forth.
Right.
And they take care of their geographic boundaries.
Right.
Once you step on the other side of their geographic boundaries and you're in the county limits.
So they have to have the commissioners.
Then you have the commissioners that take care of the rest of that.
That was so easily explained.
So you wonder why they don't teach this stuff in high school.
Why don't they? Because they go like, I don't care, I'm never going to vote anyway. No, but that really explained it so well, so simply. That's
well,
great.
I think also in the education programs they kind of blanket teach, so they kind of apply what's relevant in Louisiana, also in Texas. But every local government's different, and especially here in Montgomery County. So no one wants to spend the time to make a unique class that focuses just on what happens in Montgomery County.
True. Well,
so that's probably why
right.
they don't do it. But
yeah.
I'm surprised that the voter awareness isn't there in high school.
But as a county commissioner, you do go to class. You go to class, right? Do they train you or to teach? Don't they teach you? Now, this is what it said on Google.
Sure.
It says that they must be that they must be trained by the state on how to and what their responsibilities are and all that as a commissioner. Did you ever go to school for that?
No, that's probably training that if it's going to happen after the election once you assume office.
No, that's what I meant.
Yes, no, there will be classes and training on ethics and open meetings and different ways to conduct things, proper protocol and so forth. But yeah, there will be training on that.
Okay, within the state's guidelines, is that what you're learning? So that's interesting to me. So you guys will go to school on that once you're. But you can't go before. You can't. There's
really no official school to attend for
holding
public office. No, there really isn't.
Isn't that a shame? That's a shame because maybe that would help some people before they got into stuff that they didn't realize they were getting into. But
hopefully that's what the voters can do.
Right,
also,
right.
Is help vet that process.
True. But see, if they don't even know, what it is that you're doing. But you do the stuff like. You do assessments. You do lease. What is it? It said you also do like tax assessing for property and things like that. Is that part of
that's going to be the Montgomery County Appraisal District?
But that
which is not it's not in the purview of the commissioners. No.
Okay, who's over that?
The Montgomery County Appraisal District is their own entity inside of county government.
Okay.
So the only thing the commissioners court and the county judge, the 4 commissioners and the county judge, provide the budget for the entire county, which is going to include law enforcement services, constables, sheriff, Montgomery County Hospital District, libraries, public spaces, appraisal district, transportation, drainage, water drainage from runoff and so forth, building bridges.
But no taxing on property or anything.
There is a county tax on everybody's property, but that's administered through the appraisal district, along with the school tax and the Montgomery County Hospital District tax, and sometimes there's a mud tax.
Yeah, that mud tax is amazing. And don't people come up to you and want to say, I got to talk to you about my house and the taxes on my property?
As a real estate broker, they do all the time.
Well, now see, guys, there it is. He has the understanding of the real estate broker because that's what he is. That's what you do right now. And that you bring that knowledge into the commissioner's court. Right?
Absolutely. I've got a background as a small business owner that I understand making payroll. Right. I understand answering the phone from your clients and your customers. And I understand having a difficult conversation. I'm a residential real estate broker also. So that's my primary function. And you just have to have those conversations. You set expectations, you be honest with the people, and you tell them what's going on, and you answer the questions the best you can. If you don't know the answer, you say, hey, I don't know. Let me go find out. Or let me direct you in a path that somebody knows what they're doing and can give you a better answer than I can.
Well, now someone that wants to, I know that you want to serve. You want to use common sense in your serving. And I love that. Because I thought that had gone out the window. I thought sometimes I've watched the national decisions made on things, federal decisions made, and I go like, if you could just ask a housewife that was standing there washing the dishes and just say, what do you think about this? And they would give you a better answer, a more logical answer than what you just agreed to or what you decided to do, and not doing anything to diminish what a housewife does, but she sometimes has a clarity of standing back and going like, why are y'all doing that? This is stupid. But that kind of thing, how are you listening to the people? Is it just by going out? They come to you, they call you, or what do they do?
I have meet and greets. I had one last night in Imperial Oaks.
Oh, man.
So it was a great meet and greet. Had a good turnout. Got to meet some wonderful people.
Right.
And I also go knock on doors. Literally knock on doors.
I didn't think anybody knocked on doors anymore except Jehovah's Witness, because I think you'd be so scared of what somebody's going to do to you as you walk to the door.
Well, there's an approach to knocking on doors, and it's not being confrontational. It's just being who you are. Sometimes if you're awkward already as a person, then it's going to be an awkward conversation when you're at the front door. Right. But you knock on the door, you step back, you don't be aggressive about it. If they want to answer the door, great. If they don't,
okay, but
no big deal.
What's the knock? Is it a soft? I mean, do you practice your knock before you go to the door?
I've pretty much got just one knock.
One knock is
yes.
just okay.
It's just one knock. Had one knock for a long time. It's an aggressive knock. It's because I also do it every time I show a house. I knock on the door.
Oh yeah, you're
to make sure.
That.
Oh yeah,
you're right.
Yeah, I knock on the door to make sure that they know we're coming in.
But you could write a book on what you found when when they weren't supposed to be there, right?
Absolutely. Some things I can't write in a book.
J-Mac, you got to do it. That'll be your next thing. Is just write the book, because I have been with the realtor as we walk in, and some teenager didn't get the memo that you're supposed to be up out of the house.
Sure.
And it'd been embarrassing, or them throw things at people. So I know that you've been through that. And that's probably a real good way to get you ready and a foundation to be able to deal with people on a political level as well.
Well, you have to, as a politician or an office holder, you're a public servant. You are there. Your phone number is public. You've got a building that's public. The hours are public. There are people that answer the door. You need to be able to talk to them and feel comfortable about it.
Right.
That's something I don't mind doing. I do it all the time in my job. And I've been able to develop good relationships with people that have grown over the years to where they've come to trust me in all facets of real estate and financing for real estate and so forth.
Now that would be good though, because you would have a you've got sources that you could send people to if they don't believe you. I mean, but you have
Absolutely.
Do you have people doing testimonials for you all the time about saying
I do.
This guy's good?
I do. I have letters to the editor. I have
yes.
I have
good
testimonials from people that or there's some on Facebook that are they're heartwarming. It's very comfortable and it's very amazing when somebody says, hey, this guy is a great guy and I'm going to be voting for him for county commissioner.
Wow.
We need to elect him.
That's humbling, huh?
It's very humbling because we're all sinners.
Yeah.
And nobody's perfect.
That's
and
right.
to have other people believe in you is a very humbling experience.
Well,
because you're a public servant. Yeah, I work for y'all. I do not work for myself. I work for everybody else. And I expect people to appreciate that and to hold me accountable to that.
Well, I think that you had stated to me that, you're a Christian, you're proud of that, and that's your faith. Mm-hmm. And that's, some people say, well, I'm not Christian, doesn't mean, yeah. But here's the deal, is that the values and the principles that you follow because you are, and because who we worship is like the greatest man of all time.
Sure.
And he was a servant, though. First, he was a
Absolutely.
servant. And that's who who you're emulating. And that's good. That's good for us to know that, we're going to come first, and not you and not, your ego or anything like that. It is, we come first. And that's a great attribute to have. I'm
an administrator, and it's my job to be a steward of your dollars.
Right.
And to represent you in front of the county and other organizations and different counties and different governmental entities, and to explain to people that you do have a voice. Right.
And can you explain to me what power, once you're given this title and the people vote you into this, the power you have that can make a difference? Can it be done on the first day? You can make a change that you see was wronged and that you can make right on the first day? Is it because it has to be a collective decision that it makes it a little bit harder, but you have to lobby these people to come around to be thinking the way that your constituents that voted for you think?
The things that are going to happen on day one, because people ask me that question, what are you going to do on day one? And I think we'll probably cover. Yeah, exactly. I think we'll probably get back to that after this.
That is a great
break.
Tease. Day one. You're listening to the Cindy Cochran Show, and we will be right back. Don't go away.
The Cindy Cochran Show, real reality radio.
Did you know there are more than 790 abused and neglected children currently in foster care in Montgomery County? Will you help make a difference? I'm Allie Stevens with Casa Child Advocates of Montgomery County. We train and support volunteers to be the voice of children in the foster care system. Kids removed from their home because of abuse and neglect. And we need volunteers just like you to advocate for these children. To learn more about becoming an advocate, please visit CasaSpeaksForKids.com. That's CasaSpeaksForKids.com.
In a world where everyone with a smartphone is a photographer, unique images still stand out in local newspapers, magazines, and on the internet. Writer and photographer Brad Meyer has gained a reputation for innovation and quality, specializing in an editorial approach to portraits and event photography. For information, visit bkmeyer.com or call 281-221-4812.
Hi folks, it's your old buddy Luke Clayton, and I want to invite you to join me every Saturday morning right here on Lone Star Internet Radio from 8 to 9 for Outdoors with Luke Clayton and Friends. Bill Dance is a frequent guest. Larry Weisser, Mr. Whitetail, is on the show every week. We talk a lot of hunting and fishing and generally have a good time. So remember, every Saturday morning, 8 to 9, right here on Lone Star Internet Radio.
Are you interested in learning more about preparing quick, healthy, and safe meals for your family? Would you like to spend time with others learning tips and tricks, along with practicing and tasting nutritious food? If so, the On the Road to Healthy Living Mobile Cooking School is for you. Call Amy Ressler at Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service at 936-539-7825 to find a class near you or volunteer to host a class.
The Cindy Cochran Show. Even if these walls could talk, they couldn't get a word in edgewise.
And boy, is he right. You're listening to the Cindy Cochran Show right now. And we have another half hour to go. But I love this guy, J. Max Sanders, running for county commissioner, precinct 3. And that, every time you say that, it kind of like dwindles it down to, this is, okay, he's running for county commissioner of the whole United States.
Exactly.
No, it's here in Montgomery County. And that's the good thing about this, is because it's someone that you can actually get in touch with, see, and it's just not some sound bite on Fox News or something like that. This is the real deal. So we get to talk to them, and you get to learn a little bit more about them and see where they're going. And we were just talking about, I wanted to know, how would your constituents communicate with you, and then what power that you have as a county commissioner, day one, what would change?
That's a great question, because everybody wants to know, what are you going to do differently? Mm-hmm. Why should I vote for you? What are you going to do differently?
Right.
Day one in my office is going to be a culture of, you can have a conversation, you can have constructive criticism. There's no fear of retribution. There's no fear of retaliation. Bridges are going to be built between other groups, other organizations, the members of Oak Ridge North City Council and Mayor, Shenandoah Mayor and City Council, the Woodlands Township Board of Directors and the chairman, as well as Harris County and Precinct 4, the homeowners associations that are in the county, the groups that are not in a homeowners association but are in an organized area, neighborhoods. You can call me. It's okay. Let's have a conversation. I'm not going to block you from my website. I'm not going to not answer the call. I'm going to give you a call back. It may not be right then, and I may not be able to answer your question the way you want, but I'll do the best I can. I'll be honest with you. That's the first thing I'll be, is honest with you. Transparency and an open door policy is something every politician talks about.
Yes.
But
yes,
there's a record that there isn't transparency, and there's a record of a closed door policy, it's hard to get that out because the door's closed. People don't realize it.
And you're going to probably have to do some, retraining of how you communicate with, how people will be able to communicate with you, and that there is no fear of retribution. That just makes me sick in my stomach, because people that are voted into an office and something happens and clicks in their brain that makes them feel like they are, like above the people that got them there, and they lose that servant, and who's paying who, and whose taxes are.
That's right.
When you start realizing that,
get fired up.
Boy, you get upset. So if you remove that day one, that's wonderful.
It's the relationships are going to open back up.
Right.
Right now, there are closed relationships with Harris County, our largest.
Oh man,
the single largest border that we have is with Harris County and Spring Creek. Mm-hmm. And the commissioner in Harris County Precinct 4 and the commissioner in Precinct 3 right now have such a rocky relationship that it has stalled Kirkendall's expansion.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. No.
Brother.
Absolutely. There are major concerns there, and the Precinct 3 commissioner does not play well with anybody in any sandbox. Mm-hmm. He's the only one in his sandbox.
And how would people know about this, except the ones that are seeing there's no progress being done, like in Kirkendall?
Well, and even then, you wouldn't necessarily know, because it's a 3 or 5 year project. You don't know where it is in the stage.
Oh, true. Yes.
You would know that, we should be further along from here, and there should be grading and site work and so forth.
Exactly. Who would know to ask that stuff, but just be...
You don't realize it until you're going, wait a second, this was supposed to be close to finished now, and it's not started yet. That's when the light bulb goes off.
Yeah.
And that's when people get frustrated. And if a project's going to get delayed, let people know and let them know why.
Right.
People can handle bad news, and it's not necessarily bad news. It's the reality of living in a growing community where jobs are popping up and people are needing to travel to get to where they need to go for work and for church and kids' activities and family activities.
Well, do you guys have a website that people can go to and click on this project or that project, where this project is, to keep them updated on what's going on?
There is a website that absolutely takes care of that. It's at the Precinct 3 website. So, but you're not going to see a project that is stalled necessarily on there if the commissioner that is stalling the project probably isn't going to put it on the website.
Right. I mean, when you get in there, you're going to say,
here's what's up. This is what's going on.
Yeah.
But right now, that website exists for the current commissioner, but he doesn't have the information on there that makes him look bad.
Well, there you go. No, you're not that transparent.
Yeah, you're not that transparent. But all you have to do is call Commissioner Cagle's office in Harris County Precinct 4 to find out what's going on. It's complicated. It's a very rocky relationship.
Well, do you feel like right now the commissioners that are there, do they talk to each other? They play well with each other? Is it a team effort? Does
Here's
it have
the thing.
to be?
The squeaky wheel always gets the oil, and oftentimes in politics, the new thing is be the squeaky wheel in politics. Fight the system, fight the man. And I believe in that. When the system needs to be fought, the system needs to be fought.
Right.
I understand that, I appreciate that, and emphatically believe in it, and will fight it to its nth degree when it's needed. But eventually the squeaky wheel gets replaced. The squeaky wheel isn't always. Sometimes squeaky wheels are squeaky wheels because they like to be squeaky and they don't know any different.
Yeah, that's all they know. But you can go in there. You can go and that squeaky wheel is removed from this election. Then you can walk in there and just be able to turn this around. Now,
and it's not one of those things where you turn into a rubber stamp. It just means you have relationships. When you have a job and you work with a group of 5 or 10 people, and collectively you have a project that you're trying to get accomplished, you can have disagreements with those 5 people, have disagreements amongst each other. But when you go present the project to the client or to your boss, you have a unified front at that point.
Right.
You have conversations. You go back and forth. You do your rounds. You do your research. You have a good dialogue. You get information, input from other sources and other groups to find out what their thoughts and their opinions are. And then when you go and we present things, you try and have a unified front. If there's a time and place to not have one, you don't. But at the end of the day, we have common goals. The common goals are mobility and infrastructure.
Sure.
And to be able to get from point A to point B as smoothly and as efficiently as possible, and with the growing pains that are going to happen.
With all the traffic interruption and that kind of thing. I think that as an individual, that one little person, that little lady sitting in her house, and she feels like she's been done wrong by, her surroundings and her community, and she doesn't know if she's, am I somebody worthy enough to be able to go and talk to a commissioner?
Absolutely, we are all born with an old sin nature.
That's right.
Nobody is more special except for my wife.
That's right. Good thing. That was good.
But yeah, no, absolutely. We all have the same concerns. We all have trials and tribulations that we must go through and that we do go through. And to think that commissioners don't go through them is sad, because we do, and we're people just like everybody else.
Sure. And if you've been in small business, you have your own business now, and been in real estate and have to deal with all those people, I don't know how you.
Well, and that's where I've been nominated for Small Business of the Year, for 2013 and 2014 by my peers. I didn't make that nomination myself.
And you are on board too, Panther Creek.
I'm on the Panther Creek Village Association board. Yes.
Okay, and there's nothing that would be conflict of interest of you being, the county commissioner and being on a board like that.
There probably wouldn't necessarily be a per se conflict of interest, but I would probably step down, and allow somebody else in the community to have that seat.
What do you now? Because a commissioner's job usually isn't seen as or defined as full time. So you have your realtor's, work. Is that a conflict of interest? For somebody as a county commissioner to have a business like that?
No, county commissioner will be my full time job.
Okay. Well, good.
That will be my full time job. It is a full time job when there's a $300+ million budget to manage, and there's a.
Wow.
Think about that.
Yeah.
And there are hundreds of millions of dollars of road bond contracts that need to be administered. That needs to take your full-time attention.
Oh, right. Now, see, and we can find out about who's awarded contracts. We can find out those things on the can we find that out on your website?
We can even find, and you can call me. You can go to the website. There's information out there. There are websites. There are letters that have gone out. We can also find out how there were some contracts given and there were no bids, no review.
Just
bids given.
And you're going to change that, right? You get in there?
Yeah. At the end of the day, that's the single largest contract that ever was given in Montgomery County for engineering design services was $1.9 million. And it was given about 4 or 5 weeks ago to the current commissioner's largest engineering contributor. And it was never reviewed by the county engineer's office. It's amazing. Think about that.
Yay,
I go get multiple bids if I'm going to get my roof replaced.
Right.
I go call 4 different tire places that when I go buy tires.
Of course.
So I don't understand why you wouldn't get a second opinion, if not a third opinion, when you're going to spend $1.9 million of your taxpayer dollars.
That's right. Yikes. I'm so fired up now. Who do I go to?
This is what we call common sense, my friends.
You've got to get in there so that we can call you and say, how's it going? Have you got that straightened out? And
how's the common sense coming along?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Still there? Absolutely. I'm still trying to find it all over the place. I found a little bit of it.
Well, see, we send these guys to Washington, and then, like, what happened to them? It reminds me somewhat of the Stepford Wives. Like they go in there with all this great ideas, and they're going to be themselves, and they're going to do everything you thought they were going to do, and then all of a sudden they come out, out of that machine with all the same look and the same speak and the same, like, what's happened to them? So I'll be so excited to have you come back and report things like that to us and say, here's what's going on, Cindy. And if you want to come and talk about it, because I think it can be fun. It doesn't have to be boring,
absolutely.
dry. Because I think a lot of times politicians like you to think that so that you won't bother them about stuff because they're going to think it's all above you and you can't understand what they're talking about anyway.
No, this stuff can be made quite interesting.
Sure.
Because
it affects us.
Absolutely, it affects you, and there's drama to everything.
I love that part of it. I love that.
You can't spend $60 million without some drama showing up.
Yeah. Yes. I want to hear about that. That's going to be fun. Now, we're going to go to a break.
You don't always want the drama, but sometimes it shows up.
It shows up, but it's fun for us
Sure.
that are out on the outside. But we're going to go to a break right now. When we come back, we're going to talk about the national politics. We're going to talk about the presidential race and get J-Mac's feeling on that. So you guys stay right with us. We'll be right back on the Cindy Cochran Show.
The Cindy Cochran Show. You ain't heard nothing yet.
Hello, Montgomery County. I'm Rachel Baldwin with Special Olympics Texas, Area 6. Are you a fan of courage? Are you a fan of determination? Are you a fan of acceptance, grace, and skill? Then you're already a fan of Special Olympics. Make it official. Volunteer, coach, and/or compete and be a fan of dignity and acceptance. The dedication of our Special Olympics Texas volunteers provides mainstreaming experiences for athletes with intellectual disabilities. You will touch the heart of another person, and it will move you in a meaningful way that lifts the spirit. Please visit the Heart of East Texas Area 6 webpage at www.sotx.org. Also, like us on Facebook to be a fan and be part of Special Olympics Texas.
In a world where everyone with a smartphone is a photographer, unique images still stand out in local newspapers, magazines, and on the internet. Writer and photographer Brad Meyer has gained a reputation for innovation and quality, specializing in an editorial approach to portraits and event photography. For information, visit bkmeyer.com or call 281-221-4812.
Hello, I'm Bonita DeRosa, Animal Control Officer for the City of Willis. We invite you to tune in to Lone Star Internet Radio every first and third Thursday of the month at 11 a.m. for the Willis Hour. On the first Thursday of the month, the Willis Hour will be covering upcoming events and news about the city. Join in the conversation with your city officials and other leaders in the community. On the third, we will be doing a recap of the last City Council meeting. The mission of the City of Willis is to provide high-quality services, accountability, and professional commitment to our citizens. We pledge to provide those who live, work, and visit our city an effective government that is open and responsive to the needs and values of the community. Again, we invite you to tune in on Lone Star Internet Radio every first and third Thursday of the month at 11 for the Willis Hour.
Our community's animal shelters cannot absorb accidental litters of kittens and puppies. Approximately 80% of the animals entering our shelters will not make it out alive. Please help be a part of the solution. Please spay and neuter your pets. Many low-cost options are available. Visit texaslittercontrol.org to learn more. That's texaslittercontrol.org. And remember, real Texans don't litter. Please spay and neuter your pets.
The Cindy Cochran Show, the most opinionated talk show on radio.
And he's right. Yes, he's right. This is the most opinionated talk show. On radio. Rush thinks he's opinionated, but you don't even know. This is the one that's right here. And we've got it all. We've got the county commissioner, precinct 3 candidate that is running against, I can't even believe it. Some of the stuff that's gone on with precinct 3 in the leadership there, it needs to be changed, and you're the one that can do it. You got to get out there and put J-Mac. Is going to be an easy name to check that box. J-Mac Sanders, running for County Commissioner 3, because some stuff's going on that it would just make you so angry, and it's all in the papers, and we don't have to judge up everything right here, but it's all in the papers. You just got to look, and you got to do a little bit of investigating, and you'll find out, yikes, changes got to be made. And all those people that live in Precinct 3 know this well, I'm sure, that something's got to give, and you've got a candidate now that can make the change. You better
trying to get that message out. You'd be surprised, a lot that don't know it.
That's hard, I know. It's just
takes money.
Well, and you know what? I feel so sorry for you guys right now trying to run up against the Iowa caucus.
Oh, yeah.
I've been calling it caucus.
Iowa caucus, New Hampshire primaries.
Yeah, it has sucked
in South Carolina.
Oxygen of every news story on there. I just hope we don't have any kind of nuclear threat.
It's going to do it again in Texas when they get here, because they're having a Republican presidential debate at the University of Houston.
Are they? Oh,
the
tell
Friday,
me about that.
I believe it's the Friday or Thursday before March 1st.
Really?
Oh, yeah. So they're all going to be here. Every candidate that's still in the race is going to be here.
Still in the race, yeah. Oh, my word. Oh, yeah. That is so exciting.
So I'm going to be fighting for even more limited space and interest.
Well, you are always welcome here to talk about it. And we can even talk about the after it's over, what happened here.
Sure.
Because that's going to be fun.
Oh,
it's going to be fun to watch that.
This is what's great about America.
That is exactly right.
Everybody can do this.
That's true. And because
you are your own ceiling.
Well, yes, that's right. God made no ceilings.
That's right.
Is so cool. And only man. So I think that it's going to be fun to watch someone like Donald Trump come into Texas. And he's going to wear that big red tie, and I think that's great. And I think as long as he stays true to himself, if I see him in a plaid shirt rolled up, and I'm going to go, no, But I think he did make a mistake I think he made a mistake in not doing the debate in Iowa. But he still came in second. But I think that he may have had second thoughts about that afterwards.
Knowing what he knows now.
Yeah, he's like, I think I'm going to go to school on that, and I'll stand up there, and I don't care what they say. I'll just nod my head or say, do the Fifth Amendment or something. But I think that he learned from that, and that he's going in there with a 28%, and it's like 20 points over Ted Cruz. So it's going to be interesting to see, because the polls were just smashed.
Sure.
And in Iowa, and here comes New Hampshire. So it's going to be
and they're two completely different demographics.
Exactly.
Of voters.
The evangelical is not it's not going to be everybody trying to be the most religious. It's going to be a different story now. So this is going to be fun to see this. But I tell you, it's just so dominates everything that they just don't have. It's like nothing else is going on, and it's so hard for them to pull away because they're afraid they're going to lose people or want to know what Donald's done today.
Yep.
And I understand that he has made it the most interesting time in history for watching for watching the debates and watching the political process, because everybody's going like, what is he going to do next? They don't know what he's going to do next.
Exactly.
And so I like that. I like that you can't, they can't come up with bad stuff about him. They play things about when he was more liberal and
Sure.
say things, but they can't find the thing that will make it bad enough where somebody wouldn't do this. And when he stood there and said, I could stand in the middle of Times
Fifth
Square
Avenue, yeah.
and shoot
somebody.
somebody, and I still wouldn't lose my. Well, he did find out. Don't miss the debate.
Yeah, exactly.
You may be able to stand out there and shoot somebody, but don't miss the debate. You shot yourself in the foot with that one. But I think that he's rallying, and
he could have changed that and said, you know what? If you come out and said, yeah, I could stay in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and wouldn't lose any supporters, I probably should have stood in the middle of Iowa and shot myself in the foot.
That's right.
Might have gained some.
That's exactly right. And so I think he maybe learned a lesson. We'll see. But he's already jumping on the Carson, the Ted Cruz leak of Carson maybe dropping out, which is I feel so bad for Ben Carson, because he's not the guy. And I think maybe Donald Trump feels that way. He feels like, well, you won't say it, but I'll say what I think about what happened. And it's talking like that. And I feel the frustration when he's trying to say, well, this guy should have known better, and I don't think it's really right. And I think this is what we're fighting against, is this kind of politics. Wow. Ted Cruz, all the evangelicals and all the people that you told, I am this way because of Christ and all that. But that a dirty trick would have not ever happened. But somebody should have been fired. If he had just fired somebody, that would have helped a whole lot to do something like that. But they're all blaming it on CNN.
Here's something I learned a while ago, probably 15, 20 years ago. It's much easier to eat warm crow than it is cold crow.
That's very good. Let me think about that. That's very good. Yes, I like that. And speaking of crow, so Hillary had this thing where I didn't go get the money, though. I forgot to go get the money. We'll try that tomorrow. We'll get the 3 people will be on here tomorrow, and we'll do some flipping the coins and see how many times you can get the head to land or tails to land and be able to win 6 delegates away from Bernie Sanders.
Sure.
Bernie should be burning about that. So that's going to be interesting. That has been so close. That has got to be killing them in the sense that we thought this was going to be a cakewalk, and then I've got to deal with this guy that looks like Larry David, and I don't understand what's happened here. And I just, you don't understand it? You don't understand that the FBI is investigating you?
There's a reason that an independent socialist from Vermont has traction.
That's right. And that's the most pitiful thing of the whole deal. And so I feel sorry for her, but I wouldn't vote for somebody just because I feel sorry for him. I just wouldn't want that person leading the country.
Sure.
That we don't know if she's lying to us or not, because she can look you straight in the eye and tell you something that
Sure.
So many months later was a total lie.
Absolutely.
So that's not somebody I would hire.
You're starting to sound like my opponent. Be careful. I'm not sure you're talking about Hillary or my opponent.
Oh, yeah. I thought you said, I was like, they should never talk about you that way. J. Mac Sanders, running for County Commissioner, Precinct 3. This is the guy. Look for his name, J. Mac. You can't miss it. And vote for him, and we're going to have a change. There's going to be a change. Fresh wind coming into County Commissioner's Court. So it's going to be fun to watch.
If you need me, call me on my cell phone, 832-797-9229.
Who would give their cell phone out? That's great. You're listening to Cindy Cochran Show. We'll be back tomorrow. Do not, don't miss it. You can't miss it. And don't miss Hanging with the Haters at 12 o'clock. See ya.
Thank you for checking out a podcast on Lone Star Internet Radio. Lone Star Internet Radio is Montgomery County's community radio station, broadcasting from the heart of Conroe, Texas. If you are interested in sponsoring a program for Lone Star Internet Radio, just visit us online at irlonestar.com or message us on Facebook. We are always taking song requests on Twitter, and if you are interested in getting involved with the station by either hosting your own show or if you want to be a DJ, just contact Dick at irlonestar.com. Lone Star Internet Radio, Montgomery County's community radio station.